Now we know, we have maps for the land all along the coastline in great detail. We know what's on the land. As soon as we get to the water's edge, we don't have maps, not in the detail that we do on the land. Now, after a project like this, we do have that kind of information.
These projects are the start of a journey to help open up our eyes to Victoria's marine environment. 10
years ago, it wouldn't be possible to do this kind of mapping. The technology just didn't exist. We're now at a stage where the technology is growing, the expertise is growing, and we have the capacity to understand the marine environment in a detail that has never been before possible.
We know humans are impacting their environment every day, but we don't always know the repercussions of that, and particularly in the marine areas, because they're difficult to sample and they're difficult to see up close and personal. It means we have to make this kind of extra effort to really figure out what's down there and how humans are interacting.
We are able to derive products that represent the seafloor topography, but we need some information on the biota, and we do this by towing a video camera over the seafloor. It's quite a complex task. We're in small boats, and we basically lower the camera over the side of the boat using a winch system, and we tow it from depths ranging from about 10 metres to 110 metres, and it's positioned using an acoustic transponder. So we know exactly where this camera is at all times, and we can relate that position and overlay it on the multi-beam imagery.
It's pretty high-tech stuff, this kind of mapping, and it's not the kind of thing that we do normally as part of our business. And so you go and you seek out the best people to do this. And the Coastal CRC, or Cooperative Research Centre, have a group within them, or a couple of groups within them, that are well known around the country as mappers, marine mappers. There's Fugro Survey, who are global leaders in maritime survey, and the University of Western Australia, who have the Coastal Waters Habitat Mapping Program, a world leader again in the ecological component of mapping. And so we went to the guys who knew what they were doing and we said, this is what we'd like to do, and they said, project interests us, and it went from there.
I'm a research fellow at Deakin University. I'm basically coordinating the data capture and analysis for the state component of the marine mapping project.
I think everyone has a real stake in making the project work. I mean, the good thing is everyone has a real strength to bring to the table, and so we've been very reliant on all of the partners involved to make the project move forward, and it's meant a lot of kind of in-kind collaboration.
It made more sense, rather than sending 2 vessels out to do this work, to pull our resources and get more bang for our buck, if you like.
Victoria's marine environment is a significant place. One of the fantastic statistics that I love is that about 85% of the animals and plants and all things that live in the southern waters of Australia are endemic. They live only there.
The research in the broader part of the state's coastal waters are giving us information that we've never had before, information that's going to help management agencies. It's going to be able to tell us where places of special interest are for the plant and animal communities. It's going to be important to help identify areas for fisheries, so in terms of critical habitat for fish production. It's also going to give us information about sites of cultural significance, places that, while it's very new to us, of course we have to remember that in times past Aboriginal people were walking over these areas, they were fishing, they were hunting in these particular areas. And now with sea level rise, these lagoons, these ancient sand dunes, these cliff areas have been covered by the ocean.
We now know in a detail that is really unprecedented what habitats are in them and where they are. We can start to look at threats to those habitats, maybe from inappropriate anchoring or pollution from the catchments, or, you know, forbid oil spill scenarios. We can start to target how we would respond.
This project has been seen as important by both the Australian and the state governments because our level of information about the marine environment still needs to be improved. It's recognised across the community that the more we know about environments, the better our capacity to manage them for future generations.
Without this kind of information, we're almost managing in the dull twilight. There's a bit of light because we know roughly in broad detail what's out there. It's not quite the dark, but with this information, the lights are on. We can see stuff, we know what's there, we know why it's important once we know what's there, and you can really target management practices.